San Francisco and Dirty Harry with Clint Eastwood. They're not real buildings. They're just facades, just false fronts. Now, certain things you can do here, you can't do in a real city like Chicago. Take a look at Blues Brothers. This was done by John Landis.
When the Pinto fell and you saw it land and make this big hole in the street, that was on the back lot. We dropped it from a crane. You dig like that in Chicago, you're not a good idea.
When people ask me, of all of the movies I've ever done, what was the most satisfying, the most fun, I've got to say Blues Brothers. We got to sing, we got to dance, got to drive and train with the best stunt people in the world, and got to be an actor and a writer. So it was a good piece of work.
Danny called John America's Best because just you walk into anybody's house.
During the shooting of the movie, John was missing. We couldn't find him.
Danny went off looking for him. He saw a light on in this one house and knocked on the door.
They said, sir, we're doing a movie down here. We're looking for one of our actors. Oh, John, yeah, he's on my couch. He came in, he had a snack a couple hours ago. He's sleeping. He was America's Guest. I mean, literally that happened.
Take a look on your left-hand side right there, all the way toward the back, Soundstage 30. That's where they're currently filming for The Voice. See the V on the front there? They do take live audiences for that show, and they're free. They're free experiences. Usually they have them hanging out here at the tent, the white tent on your right, and then when they're ready to do the taping, they'll walk across the street over to the soundstage and do the show. They have a couple of websites you can check out called oneiota.com, the number one, IOTA.com, and then on-camera audiences. And there's a list of shows that need audience. So for commercials, well, not commercials, but TV shows like sitcoms, talk shows, and usually game shows. Because they can't do those shows without audience, so they definitely need you. To the left here, this is Park Lake. So if some of you might have taken the studio tour years back, this used to be the party of the Red Sea, and the tram would go right through the water. You can see the water on either side of the tram. Also seen as the Amazon jungle in the movie, right? Creature from the Black Lagoon. That was one of our original monster movies. So some of these monster films go back since the early 1920s. A lot of history. And we opened the studio here even earlier than that, 1915, March 15th. That was our official opening. But we're going to take you to our first Off the Trolley visit. Welcome to Little Europe, guys. We're in Europe. Does this look like Europe to anyone? It was seen as different countries like France, Germany, Spain. When we disembark the vehicle, if you have your bags, you can leave them on the trolley. Just leave them underneath your seats just in case Shaw needs to move our vehicle to another location so the bags don't shift and fall out of the windows. But yeah, we'll open the water chest for you here. One more reminder, watch your step and bring your cameras. Follow us outside.
Okay. Thank you. See how they sing. Wow, 呢度好酷喎！真係可以落嚟行喎呢度。啲。
Don't be scared. It's just me. Welcome everyone. This is Europe. Little Europe, seen as different countries all around the world. So you've seen this more times than you might actually think. We just changed the buildings to make them look different to you because it's all about how we frame up our shot. TV show. So all you're seeing is what's inside the frame. But when you're looking with your peripheral vision, right, you can kind of give away that there are a lot more things around the buildings than just the buildings themselves. But all you need to do is just change the languages on the signs to make them look like different countries, right? Different flags to the sets. So we love to mention this. So the 1930, there was a movie called All Quiet on the Western Front. and it won our first Academy Award for Best Picture. And it was seen as France and Germany in that same movie, right? And you can do anything you want with the buildings. So it's all one big rental facility. So let's say you have a project you want to film out here. You can paint them differently, you can add things to, take away, as long as you bring it back to same condition that you found the sets. But here's the thing, sometimes the studio might like what you actually did with the set, and it might be a TV show that might blow up and be really, really successful, and then we'll just leave it, and then we'll just keep it for studio tours, right? So it's a win-win for the show and us. This might look familiar to you if you've seen a show called The Good Place. So this was seen in The Good Place with Ted Danson and Kristen Bell and William Jackson Harper. So this was seen as a heaven, perfect society, if you will. So Kristen Bell, who actually does the show, she ends up in the afterlife after dying in the first episode, like the first 5 minutes. And she ends up in the heaven area on accident. She's not supposed to be there. It's a clerical error. So she has to kind of do certain things to keep her in the good place. It's a comedy that was on NBC for about 4 seasons. It's on Netflix right now if you haven't seen it. Has anyone seen the show or heard of it? Okay, a couple of us. This grass is fake, by the way. There was a stage up there where Ted Danson would do the town hall meetings. So this is where the people would gather and listen to Ted Danson when he was addressing everyone in the good place. If you come up here, we'll kind of make our way up the stair here. All chocolate, everything is still left up from the good place. There's a place called Everything Fits, which was a clothing shop right there. The Good Plates, which was a restaurant where anything you want, basically one item on the menu, whatever you want it to be, right? Come on there. So we'll just spend a couple moments here to talk about what was filmed here in Little Europe. If you've seen Princess Diaries Royal Engagement, this was seen as Genovia in Princess Diaries. They did the parade scene here. Yeah, you're reenacting it right now. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, they're putting the tiaras on the girls, and the parade came from here, and they actually walked in that direction, outside of the frame, right? Sometimes when you're doing productions, though, usually you don't see the whole building, right? Sometimes you only see through the frame, maybe from that door to that awning, and that's all you'll see. But Angela and I, we've seen these sets so many times that when we watch a movie or a show and we see just a portion of our buildings, we go, oh yeah, that's us, right? So pretty recognizable for some. But this was seen as Pamplona, Spain, and City Slickers with Billy Crystal. So we did the Running of the Bulls sequence here. We also did another Running of the Bulls scene for Night and Day. Tom Cruise, Cameron Diaz, when they were being chased by bulls on motorcycles. And another scene, most people have seen a lot of Geico commercials. We know them to be kind of funny, pretty comedic. They did a Running of the Bulls with the Bulldogs. Right, so they had bulldogs running down the same street here, and it was so cute. One of them got a guy was being chased, and he kind of falls over, and one of the dogs licks him on the face. And had the commercial end, so it's really cute. But yeah, and we have outlets right here, and they have an outlet. You just lift up that metal plate, and you plug in a street lamp. You plug in a traffic light signal, right? So this can be seen as different time periods, right? Not just current day. And we have people specifically hired to do research on, let's say, how a lamppost, right, would look like in 1940s in London, right? And so we have all these light fixtures in that building to your right behind you. We'll be heading there a little bit later, but that's our prop house. So anything you need as far as a prop, as far as decorating